That's an intimidating silhouette. Worth the materials, I'd say. That's an intimidating silhouette.
I'll need to get these back to Lane. See what we have here. These all seem to be speeches that the Eye delivered. These are dated 40 years ago, but I could still imagine him saying all of these things today. blaming the Verdant Mines for an explosion near the Veil. Supposedly, this explosion was the cause of the cyclical miasma floods. But we know that the floods were caused by Asylum. This doesn't add up. Here's something. Let's see. It seems to be information on Lucia's various projects. There are a lot of redactions here. Seems like someone was trying to hide something. So what did we find out? Any big revelations? What's wrong?
This isn't what I expected at all. I think you need to read this yourself.
Well, sure, but... all right. This is one of Lucia's journals, right?
Yes.
I washed my hands of it, but they pressed onwards. He was fully aware of what I taught them, of course. What I'd taken from the Institute. And so, he let it happen. He knew they were going to try to pierce the veil, and now dozens are dead. He knew Vile. Broke bread with them. But when they and the rest of the Verdant Mines went off to die, Kenrick just watched.
And now read this. A transcript of one of his speeches, delivered around the same time that journal entry was written.
We will root out these dissenter vermin at all levels of administration. Their ideology has claimed too many lives to be allowed to breathe free. In the meantime, to ensure peace and prosperity, martial law is in effect across remaining settlements. So he let the explosion happen and used it for his own political gain. Wow. He's a real piece of work.
He didn't exactly engineer this, but he isn't innocent either. He sat back and allowed the Verdant Mines to try breaking through the veil. Then they unintentionally triggered a huge explosion, conveniently wiping themselves out in the process. And just like that, the Eye had a scapegoat on whom to blame the cyclical miasma floods. He used panic and fear to secure himself a spot as provisional leader. But everyone eventually forgot that provisional bit. I genuinely didn't expect this at all. I thought I'd find out that he'd just been mildly conniving all his life, not this.
So, what do we do about this then?
We need to confront him. He may be the Enclave's leader, but we can still take him to task on what he's covered up.
Wait, what? You really think that'll work?
Yes. I'll present him with our evidence, and he'll have to give us an explanation.
I'm open to the idea. But what makes you think he'll want to speak to us?
I'm confident in my powers of persuasion. I may be young, but a lifetime spent orbiting the seats of power in Judea. Well, let's just say that I know how to appeal to a politician's better judgment.
Well, I trust your judgment.
Excellent. I'll finish writing this dossier, and I'll meet you in Cassidon's Hold. Have faith.
It's not you who I'm lacking faith in. Trust me. Anyway, I'll see you at the Hold.
I won't be long. It sounds like your experiment with the loom gates went well.
With the axle and the spindle? Yeah.
That's good.
Are you...
Do you think the resonance modulator...
I don't think this...
sorry.
Why do I feel as if I'm about to have my time wasted?
Please allow me to present my research. I promise it won't take but a moment. I've compiled a dossier concerning an event that occurred in the Enclave around 35 years ago.
And what event would that be, pray tell?
The attempt to pierce the veil. I can only assume you were familiar with the Verdant Mines.
The name rings a bell, though it's been decades, as you said.
They were the subject of many of your speeches. It's interesting that your memory on the subject is hazy.
You'll forgive me for not remembering the exact wording or subject of any of the hundreds of speeches I've delivered throughout my career.
That's not a problem. I can summarize my findings. Firstly, our evidence suggests, with a high level of confidence, that you were aware of the Verdant Mines' plans to pierce the veil. Secondly, in support of that assertion, you gained this knowledge through your close relationship with the enchantress known as Lucia.
I never knew any enchantress by that name.
That's odd, since you seem to have been a recurring character in her personal journals. Though, truth be told, she didn't seem particularly fond of you in the later entries. So, back to the attempt to pierce the veil. You knew...
I knew that it would go poorly.
You knew?
Of course I did. But what does it matter?
You could have stopped it.
But I didn't. Pray tell, Lawkeeper, what goal did you hold in your mind as you traveled here?
I wanted to learn the truth about the past, to uncover what had been hidden.
Lane Free Selectus. That's who you are, yes?
That's correct. Though, I'm not sure how... never mind. But my research...
House Lectus of Udea. It's no wonder you felt the need to make something of yourself. Well, today will not be that day. Nor, I believe, will any. I won't waste my breath debating a jumped-up little snot from a house so consumed by cupidity that it can't even keep its hearths lit. Once a failure of a house, always a failure of a house. And it shows in your insipid rag parading as research.
Did you just call me a jumped-up little snot?
No, I didn't. You must have misheard me.
I...
Will that be all from you? I have other matters to attend to.
I've heard enough from you. There's no point in trying to argue with the rubbish coming out of your mouth. Lane deserves better than this. And they won't find it here. Let's just go, Lane.
Yes. I'll see you back at camp.
Here's everything you asked for.
Just a moment, and I'll prepare the balm. Here you go. And I've written down the recipe for Lane, in case you run out.
Thank you so much.
Have your quartermaster rub a little of the balm on her forehead, temples, and wrists before she goes to sleep. She'll be out in no time.
I hope she's willing to try this.
All you can do is be there. The rest is up to her.
You're right. I'd better get back to camp.
I hope your friend feels better soon.
We all wanted to come together to support you, Casmin, however we can. Do you think you're ready to talk about what's going on?
I guess I have been feeling not so great lately. It's hard. I don't know how to tell you what's going on in my mind. Or if I even should.
We're not here to judge. We're here to listen.
You can tell us anything.
It started a while after we came through the Veil. Not right away. You all know me. I'm a rock in a crisis. But the aftermath... It's hard for me to come down. Actually, I crashed to pieces in it. I should be stronger, but...
You are strong, Kaz. Falling apart sometimes doesn't change that.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it these days. After the Surgeborn escaped, I just started getting these... thoughts. Visions. So vivid. They feel like premonitions. Our campsite. Being razed to the ground in the night. Scrambling to find our gear under attack. Each of us being killed, one by one. And this voice, howling in my ear that it will all be my fault. Unless I do everything in my power to prepare us for it. I know, that sounds crazy. But these visions and that voice, it's been getting louder. It keeps me awake all hours of the night. By dawn, everyone else is asleep, even Dam. I'm alone and exhausted. Counting supplies over and over and over. Unable to stop.
That must be lonely.
It is. Opening up to you about this is physically painful. Even while we're talking, that voice keeps going. In the spaces between my words, in every pause, it howls at me for being pathetic and incompetent. How come I'm the only one drowning inside this place? No matter what happens, all of you are able to keep doing your jobs. I mean, I'm the only freak going off the deep end. How stupid is that?
You're going through something awful, outside of your control. And until now, you've dealt with it alone. But your decision to be vulnerable and share your experiences with us, that's brave, not stupid.
I don't feel brave. I feel exhausted and sad. But I guess it's nice to hear.
What if we cleaned out the caravan for you while you go rest? Bryn will sit with you until you fall asleep.
I don't know. I don't think I can sleep right now.
I have something that will help. A sleeping balm from the spindle.
Would you be open to trying it?
Maybe, but I'm afraid of what will happen if I go to sleep.
I won't let anything happen. I promise. Do you trust me?
I do. But I've made such a mess of the caravan. I can't let you guys be the ones to clean it up.
We've got this, Casmin. It's okay.
All right. Thank you. This isn't working. I should go help with the caravan.
Shh. Kaz, they're fine. You need to sleep.
But what if Aurea throws away the grains Dan likes for breakfast? Or the sapling uses to rebind their books? Or...
She won't.
I can't just lie here. My skin is crawling. I feel like I might burst if I don't move.
How about we breathe together? Just try it with me.
Fine.
can't even begin to explain how I feel. This is a disaster.
Should I have fought him harder?
I wanted so very badly to rage at him, to tell him exactly what I thought of his decades of connivances, but truthfully, it reminded me of why I left.
Home.
Everything back there was all about your house. Your actions or intent never mattered. And when I tried to forge a different path in life, the knives came out. I had no real choice but to leave. I thought I had left it all in my past, but now, here we are.
For years, no matter how hard I trained, my last mentor, Aaron, told me I wasn't strong enough to be a point. When he eventually named one of his friends, Aram, the Weaver Band's new point, I was gutted. Even though he had no training, Aaron tried to convince me it made sense. Aram is just physiologically stronger than me. Of course, I took the first chance to get out after that, just like you did. But until then, as much as I tried to ignore what Aaron was saying, a part of me was afraid he was right. Sometimes, when you're told the same thing over and over, you can't help but wonder if it's true. So, what I'm trying to say is that this guy has found his way inside your head. But that'll pass. And it doesn't reflect on the quality of your research.
I appreciate that. I'll try to internalize it. But for now, I think I just need to consider my next moves. It might take a while.
Take all the time you need.
Thanks, Bryn.